Welcome to the Nexus of Adventure, where stories transcend the page, a place where heroes and villains clash. This is Break, Battle, and Roll. It is once again time to break, battle, and roll. Welcome back, everyone, to a very, very anticipated episode. My name is Aaron Rollins. I am your game master, and I am here with three people with bated breath, waiting to see what's going to happen here. Starting with Chad Stafford.
Here we stand, worlds apart, Kenku heartbroken in two.
Oh.
Sleepless nights, flower crowd, I'm reaching for you. It's Timothy Biscuit.
Holy shit,
Wow.
Wow.
You know, we could go without setting the bar that high, right? at the
I'm
jump.
changing up the order next time, because
I
holy
told
crap.
you when we were, I think I said it on the Song of Rest for the last episode, that I had Worlds Apart just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But it was like the Stranger Things version where it has like the extra weightiness of like the pauses where the music really ramps up. And that's all that's in my head, with like cutaways of 3 different shots of each of us in our different scenarios. And that's just been in my head for like a solid month. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Timothy's not, I am.
All right, Janelle, follow that one up.
All right. Well, hi. This is Janelle Wilkie, who is not playing Flowerkraut. I'm going to pass the mic back to Aaron as Aster the Hag, who will be playing Flowerkraut today. Janelle's just going to be panicking in the background.
Clever. I like it. And Dustin Bleshmidt.
Why are there so many crew members leaving? And why are they leaving my side? It's Sherman Shepherd. Very nervous.
One day you'll find it, the Kenku's heart.
You could have gone American Tail with it, be like, somewhere out there, a hag's trying to kill us all.
Oh, my God.
All right, guys.
We're going to all die. Oh.
Without further ado, let's talk about that last episode. In our last Break, Battle, and Roll, with her new sensitive information on how to concoct a potion to break the hag's control, Flowerkraut tells Sherman that they should rejoin Timothy and Bernice. A dust storm picks up, blowing down the Gallant Peak and through the Salt Pillar Valley. The four are able to find their way to each other, and with the Helix having fallen back into their inert state, they head south in search of those who were supposed to come to their aid. Along the way, they find Tumbleweed, leading Hrisha and the other party of Helix hunters, but there are no Krekel, other than Tumbleweed. The heroes inform them of the situation and point the hunters to where they can retrieve their kin. Hrisha heads back to Oskal's refuge with the adventurers and informs them that with the second Krekel's death, the entire flock has decided to make preparations to leave Glavio. She goes on to tell them that Tumbleweed chose not to go with them, wanting to stay to help the Helix. They arrive back and find that it has already happened and the Kenku are gone. Hrisha explains that the Krekel come and go from Glavio via Raven's outpost on the western bluffs of the island. Tumbleweed tells Timothy that they will perform a funeral rite in the morning right before departing. Meanwhile, Sherman pays Brock a visit and asks him if it's possible to borrow a weapon for a bit. Brock asks Sherman about how sick his sword is and agrees to take a look at it for him. Bernice,
Dr. Brock, Doc Brock.
I should have had Brock like put on a freaking doctor's like smock
Dr. Brock's rock blocks.
Dr. Brock brought the smock.
Let me just change my hat here. Yeah, all right. Get the stethoscope out. Yeah, it's sick. It's real sick. Bernice informs the party that she needs to check in with Califran so Sherman grabs his new warhammer and hurries off with her to the Saffron Citrine. Flowerkraut works with Hrisha to obtain the sandbuck horn dust and the desert rat's tail for the potion, but keeps the last ingredient to herself, knowing that she would have to procure it in secret. Tumbleweed scribbles some drawings on the paper Timothy had given him, warning that Raven's Outpost is rife with dangerous traps.
So talented. Just a lot of talent in those feathers.
They all agree to get some rest before heading out early to catch up with the Krekel before they leave. Flowerkraut wakes up before anyone else and gathers her things. As she reaches the outskirts of Oskal's refuge, she hears the conch, not conch. Sorry, everyone.
Conch.
Been saying it wrong this whole time. Here's the conch in her satchel making noise. Pulling it to her ear, she overhears the hags in the Feywild Enclave discussing their current progress over Archipeldia. The horned hag, Aster, mentions her inability to possess the minds of the Kenku, and the presence of the forgotten motes of Miriam were present on her island. She asks her sister for their power, and they agree with the condition that should she fail, it will mean her death. The conversation ends. Lightning flashes across all of Glavio. Timothy, Sherman, and Flowerkraut all hear the words in the back of their minds, "Come to me." Sherman shakes himself of the spell, but watches as the apostleship rise up and jump off the saffron citrine together, heading for the canyon. Timothy wakes up unaffected and spies down to see the entire Helak community walking north out of Oskal's refuge together. Flowerkraut winces at the alluring voice, then pulls herself straight up and begins to uncontrollably march towards the gallant peak and not Raven's Outpost. And that is where we left off.
So what you mean to say is everything's fine.
Oh, just great.
We're totally not fucked at all.
It's fine. It's all part of the plan.
So everybody's going to the Gallant Peak?
It appears that way. Sherman, let's start with you. You wake up, you do the little dog shake, your ears flapping against your head as you get this voice out of the back of your mind, and you look around and you hear splashing noises as some of the apostleship, including Califran, have already hopped down into the shallow water, walking up on the beach. You run up to the top deck and you see them all starting to file into the slot canyon.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess everybody's going in. Well, I suppose.
Give me an insight check, Sherman.
Insight. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm good at those. Nope. That's a 9.
So you're thinking there's some kind of emergency that they're all heading to, but the one thing you do think is weird about this is that none of them have chimes to each other.
Oh.
And Califran hasn't said a single thing about Miriam's light.
Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. The light's gone out. Well, Sherman's gonna get his stuff together real quick and jump off the boat into the water as well and try to catch up.
So you run up to the slot canyon and you easily catch up to the other apostleship disciples as they're slowly maneuvering through it.
Hey, so what's going on?
None of them respond to you. They don't really even acknowledge your presence.
Oh, that's weird. They're not deaf. They should be able to hear that. A slappy clappy. Hello? Slappy. Hi. Hey. What's your... Looks at name tag. Archival. Archival. What's going on? Why is everybody in line?
I love that now it's just canon that all of the apostleship disciples are wearing a name tag.
Only the newest recruits, so they know,
Archibald is new. He just got hired.
Because they got to come up with a chime for every new name they find, so...
Yeah, it's like their apostleship name because they're like, we can't actually chime that name. It's got weird consonants in it, so... Archibald just pushes you aside. Literally just like, if you stand in front of him, he puts an arm out and just like moves you and then walks past. You do notice that at the end of the line is Bernice. And Bernice is doing the same thing, just following everybody.
So, gonna try to sit rep with Bernice, I guess, and see if she pushes me out of the way.
So are you stepping in front of Bernice?
Yes.
Yes, she begins to push you to the side.
Oh, what if I resist and don't want to be pushed?
Roll athletics.
14.
You stand firm, and she's trying to push you aside, and she can't.
Come on. Hey, come on. Snap, snap, snap. Chime to me. I don't understand it. Talk with your feet. Like, stomp. Do something. Hello.
You notice that Bernice isn't even looking at you. Like literally, you're just like an object, and she's trying to walk around you at this point. But I'm assuming you're just kind of stepping in front of her to keep her from going anywhere.
I take a look at her eyes.
They are glazed over.
I slap her in the face.
Roll an attack. Unarmed attack.
19.
Oh yeah, you slap her in the face.
19.
You deal 5 damage to her. I think that's what your unarmed attack is.
Yeah.
She recoils back, and then you see her eyes, as glazed over as they are, stare at you, and then she throws a punch at you.
Oh shit! Oh no! I thought this was gonna be like a snap out of it moment, but I guess not.
The thing is, like, it's more of just, it's not like a full force, like apostleship strike, but you're able to bring your shield up and just clang, her fist hits the shield, and it looks like she's ready to continue attacking you to get past you.
So, change of plans so I don't have to beat the shit out of the entire crew.
Sure, we're just going up the line one by one.
I'm just gonna like file in and when you're at a place that's kind of crowded, like at a Comic-Con or something, and you're just like, oh, excuse me, God, everybody's walking so slow.
Got to do the Assassin's Creed sidestep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to make it to the front of the pack and get ahead of this whole problem.
Okay. So we're going to cut over to Timothy here as you're trying to make your way past, which is very difficult in the slot canyon to get past anybody because everyone's taking up the only space that you can move through it.
Especially for this double-wide boy.
Right. Timothy, you are witnessing all of the Helax stand up, and they've marched to the northern end of Oskal's Refuge and are continuing out. You notice that Tumbleweed's still asleep.
Okay. So that was a voice in my head. Have I... Not remembering, and I apologize for this, not remembering, have any of us besides Flowerkraut heard Aster speak before?
No.
Okay, so I would have no connection that it was like a hag. All right, that's concerning.
Well, give me an insight check.
An insight? Okay.
Because insight check, because the thing is that you've seen those Helax that were thralls before. What'd you get?
I got a 7.
All right. You wouldn't necessarily put 2 and 2 together that it was the hag's voice, but the Helax all walking the same way without any kind of conversation going on between them. Like you've seen the bustling Oskal's Refuge, and they're all silent and they're walking away. So you, at least from that insight check, know that something's wrong.
Could I, because I am up really high and I would assume I have a pretty good vantage point, could I do a perception check to see if anyone is behaving differently?
Sure.
Oh, stop. Can I get that with advantage? I'm up really high. I'm up really high. I'm a 9 isn't going to do anything for me.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with advantage. You are
okay.
Up
We're doing this
high.
with a different. We're doing this with a
you
different
said
dice.
that
Wait.
before you rolled, so
That's the 4th 9.
Yeah, I know. And I rolled like 3 9s before we even started recording.
Oh my
I
gosh.
keep seeing a 9 show up from you on D&D Beyond. It's like, Timothy
was
rolled
a
9.
17, and then so plus 3, 20.
So you're looking over at everyone walking, and there is no one acting differently.
Okay, everyone's going to a party, a very weird, quiet party that no one talked about. All right.
Oh, and Timothy doesn't know that Flowerkraut's gone yet, does he?
Nope.
That, I guess my 20 perception would also clue me in that Flowerkraut was not in the crowd.
Kind of. It's still early and dark outside.
Okay.
You were looking more at like the silhouettes of people walking.
That's fair. I carefully nudge Tumbleweed.
He slowly wakes up and rubs his eyes. Timothy Biscuit.
Yeah, that's right. Forget it. You know what? I can't play this game anymore. Listen, buddy. Something's...
Echo.
Yeah, no, Echo, definitely. Yeah, it's a good Echo, and I promise we'll talk all about it later. I'll tell you everything, but for now, there's something going on. No need to panic, but have you ever seen this? And I gesture down to the Krekel as they're marching out. Is this a thing?
He peers over the side and he goes, "Hey, where are you going?" And then no one responds to him, and he turns and goes, "Trouble?"
Yeah, definitely trouble. All right. Let's get down there and figure this out. Just be careful. And I'll start moving down towards the ground where everyone else is walking.
All right, he hops down with you, and he's running around, looking around Oskal's Refuge to see if there's anyone else that hasn't just got up and walked away. At this point, the Helix have left Oskal's Refuge. You can see them off in the distance as they're like heading north towards the Pillars of Salt, and he's frantically looking in all of the hovels and the houses, and he's running around, and you can hear kind of some panic noises coming from Tumbleweed off in the distance. And that's when you step over and look down to where you remember Flowerkraut was setting down for the night, and she ain't there.
Okay, this is the part where I start freaking out. Timothy frantically looks around just to see if if she left behind anything, if there was a note, if there was a message, any sign of her leaving this area. So I guess I'll do an investigation.
Yes, let's do an investigation.
Okay, I have been blessed. The 9s are away, and now I have rolled a nat 20, which means a 21 for investigation. I paused for a second because it rolled underneath my monitor, and I didn't want to reveal it because it scared me too much. But then it was a gift.
With a nat 20, you reach down into the little bed that Flowerkraut was sleeping on, and you come to the realization it's not warm, which means she didn't just get up. And there's nothing left. Her belongings are gone, her satchel's gone, everything.
Nothing there. All right, Timothy, just think this through. Calm down. Okay, if she's not here, and if her bedroll is cold, and if all of her stuff is missing, and she wasn't with the crowd, maybe she knew something that we didn't. Maybe something happened. Oh, Flowerkraut, wherever you are, I just hope you're safe.
The sky above you kind of erupts in that like green lightning again. Definitely haven't seen weather like this here on Glavio, though you guys haven't been here long. And you hear sound from the slot canyon behind you, and you look over and you can see and hear the armor of the apostle ship as you see some of them coming out of the canyon and walking into Oskal's Refuge. Tumbleweed at this point is running back over to you, and he's like looking down at where Flowerkraut was, and he goes, "Flowerkraut!" And he's like, freaking out and jumping around, and he's looking off in the distance.
I noticed the apostle ship, and I would assume that I see Califran. He's pretty easy to pick from a crowd.
Yep, he comes walking out after, say 3 more disciples come out of the slot canyon.
I take a look to make sure that Tumbleweed's okay, and then I run over to Califran. Califran! Oh, thank goodness you're here. Listen, I don't know what's going on here. All I can say is that this storm has some familiarity, and Flowerkraut's gone, and where's Sherman? Something is definitely not right. The people of this island, they're acting strangely.
So you're talking to him as he's approaching, and then he walks right past you with his eyes glazed over,
Califran,
focused.
Listen. I have a light too, man.
All of them. Everybody is like,
oh.
I guess I look for anyone familiar and I just start chiming like help, help, help over and over and over again, while also switching from doing a chiming voice to just shouting for either Bernice or Sherman. Bernice! Sherman! Please, someone! I can't do this alone!
Sherman, you hear Timothy. You hear the chime, but then you hear Timothy's voice right after it, and you kind of put two and two that it is Timothy making those noises.
Oh, man.
Please,
And you're still kind of pushing yourself, trying to get ahead of people, but after about 7 apostleship disciples and Califran make their way through, you're able to pop out into Oskal's refuge.
I'm Sherman. Damn it, I did it again. So I grab a disciple's arms and I go bing bing.
I just imagine Sherman looks down at his own name tag.
oh, I'm Sherman. That's me.
And pal, great. We have to change all of the promotional material. Everything has to add a little.
The banners have to go.
Little name tag. Oh crap. Timothy, are you? Where are you?
Sherman?
Yeah. It's me. All the apostle crew is like zombies or something.
I don't want to making myself panic at this point, but not to make you panic, but the Helax were doing the same thing. And this might sound weird, but did you hear a voice in your head?
Like a new voice? Yeah.
Like a scary, creepy voice trying to tell you to do something.
Hey, how about you go with everyone else? Yeah, I know. What a weird dream.
I look over at Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed, did you hear a voice before you woke up?
Yes. Dream?
No, I don't think so. Sherman, we already had a thought that the hags might be involved with what's going on here, and I think it's safe to say that one of them might be responsible for what's happening now.
Oh no, we've got a juiced up hag.
Not to make you panic, but Flaukraut is gone.
What?
She left in the night. Her bedroll was cold and she took everything with her, but she didn't leave with the rest of them. She left earlier. I have no idea where she went. She said that she might try looking for some ingredients for the potion, and I don't know what to do, Sherman.
Okay. All right. In the events of peril, we remain sterile. No, that's not it.
I knew it.
Hold on. Let me. I don't think this one's in the handbook.
I think that's Brock the Doc's instructions.
Brock's the Doc. Wait. So no one's left in here. Is there anybody out here that isn't a like zombie walker?
You hear Tumbleweed yelling out, Thresha! Thresha! And then he kind of like quietly goes, Thresha.
Oh.
He turns and he's got just these huge tears welling up in his eyes.
Oh, don't. No, it's okay, buddy. It's all right.
Buddy, it's all right.
It's all right. There's no time for theirs in this equation, but you're gonna be okay. So I know we're supposed to go that way and stop the Krekel from leaving, but everybody else is going the other way. I don't know.
Raven's Outpost.
Yes, kid. Raven's Outpost.
The Krekel. Help!
He's got a point, Sherman. And if you want me to roll insight to have come to this conclusion, please let me know, Aaron. But in Timothy's mind, he's thinking all the apostleship were affected, all of the Helax were affected, except for Sherman, Timothy, and Tumbleweed. 2 of those being Kankus.
I mean, you don't have to roll insight. You come to that conclusion pretty quickly, and especially since you didn't feel even an inkling of a spell on you. And it doesn't seem like Tumbleweed was either. Also, you
and
think
when
back,
you arrived,
yeah, exactly.
Only the Helax were attacking Krekel, and the Krekel didn't have any, like, change in personality or anything.
Sherman, this might be me coming to too quick of a conclusion, but it seems that the Helax we were dealing with before were under something similar to this, but not the Kenku.
Echo.
Yes, no, Echo. Kid, I promise you we will talk all about it.
Like, for Tumbleweed to have said it that way, does that mean he had to have heard it that way one time? Echo.
Echo. Little snap. Did he do a little snap and a little, like, head bob, too?
God, where's Jive Horse when you need him?
Oh, man. Problem would be solved.
Timothy, like, starts freaking out a little bit too much. Like, he's having a hard time processing all of this. He sees that Tumbleweed is feeling a little distraught because of, you know, not knowing where Harisha is or what's going on. So he takes a minute. He's like, okay, hold on. Kid, I think we both need this. And I cast heroism on both of us.
Okay.
I cast it at a 2nd level to give us both heroism.
Oh, wow.
Hero.
You guys look great. I think the last thing we need to be doing is sitting around. Do you think that maybe the Krekel might be able to come help us save everyone else? Because I don't know if I could do it by myself.
Okay, hold on. No, okay. I'm gonna.
I'm great.
No,
I'm proud
everyone,
of being a.
We're heroes, damn it! And then I cast heroism at a 1st level on Sherman.
Oh shoot!
With your newfound confidence, all of your anxiety drains away. It's magical Xanax.
We all get 2 temporary hit points, I believe, across the board.
Okay, I'll put those. I'll put those in my pocket.
A little bit of self-care. All right. Whew. All right, so we do some breathing exercises. We calm down a little bit.
Ooze blah blah.
Ooh, blah, 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 blah.
Ooze blah blah.
Hey, just for meta purposes, I'll go ahead and say you cast heroism on the 3 of you, even though it's not a 3rd level. Because otherwise you would have had to drop concentration on the first time you casted it. So
oh, you're right. It's a concentration spell. I apologize.
For meta purposes, you and Sherman have the 2 extra hit points and are immune to being frightened and all that good stuff. So
okay,
you're feeling brave. You're feeling like heroes. You guys both get this little image in the back of your head of the barkeep just kind of hanging out behind the bar, and he looks over and goes, "Hey, what's up, heroes?"
We have our Happy Gilmore moment where he just goes to his happy place, and it's just us partying at the story arc.
This is hilarious that the barkeep is their inspiration. They've only met once, technically.
Sherman, I just had a wonderful dream that we saved Christmas. I don't know what that is. But we did it. We saved it. It was wonderful. I feel heroic.
We're gonna cut over. Flowerkraut, you are walking towards the mountain. You're in the Pillars of Salt. You had a good head start. You were heading towards the western bluffs of where you had looked on the little like map that Harisha, had put together as to where the cave opening to Raven's Outpost was, but when this happened, you immediately turned and started heading more north. And you are not in control of your body. You are unable to say anything. You just feel yourself being drawn, walking.
How's Brandy doing?
Brandy pops her head out of your satchel and looks up at you, and then looks off in the distance as to where you're going, and then Brandy moves up to your shoulder and like looks at like kind of like puts like cat face right in front of your face, looking at you. You feel like the little tentacles kind of rubbing up against your face, and you're not reacting to any of it. And you can hear Brandy. What are we doing? Turns around, you see that Brandy doesn't get any reaction from you. You're unable to. And then, after crawling around you a little bit more, Brandy crawls up on top of your head, and you feel Brandy kind of gently apply suction, like tentacles, to your brain.
Eat my brain.
Therapeutic brain sucking.
Oh yeah, it's a self-care. Suck the worries away.
Oh, brains, not sauerkrauts. And then, like, kind of pops off your head, and like, Brandy's now got paws on your face and is like trying to shake you.
Aw, that's cute.
Yelling your name, and you can definitely tell through this very, you're not in like a completely aware state. You feel like you are coming in and out of consciousness as this is going on. Like you're just kind of blacking out and coming back, blacking out. So you're seeing, as you're conscious enough, you can see that Brandy's like trying to do something to get you to wake up, but is unable to. And then you hear Brandy say, "I'll find bird brain and dog brain." And then
I love that those are the identifiers.
The Adventures of Bird Brain and Dog Brain, Saturdays at 8 on ABC.
And then Brandy jumps off and lands on the ground, and you just see Brandy run behind you. But you can't turn to look as you continue to march for the Gallant Peak.
And I'll remind our audience that Flowerkraut is still disguised as Aster, isn't she? Or have I been walking for longer than an hour?
Once the mind control hits you, any focus you had on holding that magic active just immediately faded. So you're back to being Flowerkraut, because you are unable to concentrate on a spell right now. So Brandy takes off, and we're going to cut back. Timothy and Sherman and Tumbleweed, you guys are heading to Raven's Outpost. Is that what your decision was?
Wait, I've got it. When in peril, we shall sing a carol.
That's so much better. Oh my gosh.
Yes, no, we'll go with that. But no, the kid's got a point. If the Krekel are unaffected by whatever this magic is, then perhaps we can rely on them for some help.
Do you think they'll want to help if they were going to leave?
Once they see the direness of the situation, I mean, I would hope they would help. But I don't know.
I think it's the only choice we have right now. I don't know if I can handle knocking all of these people out. It's a lot of people.
Then Brock said you only got a couple of swings with that hammer, so let's save it for when we really got to smash some skulls, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So, decidedly so, we had made the decision to head towards Raven's Outpost.
Raven's Outpost.
So as you guys leave Oskal's Refuge, you walk past Brock's Forge, and Sherman, your sword is still sitting on his counter with like these rune stones surrounding it. And he's placed it into kind of a sand buck skin for like protection while he was taking a look at it. And there is a note that looks like it was scribbled by him that's sitting on top of your sword.
Hey, Timothy, do you want to come over and read this?
I can read.
Yeah, of course, bud. Sure. Hold on one second, Tumbleweed. I'll be right back.
You see that it looks like some notes that Brock was taking while he was inspecting the sword. And there's a...
Cute. He made it a little medical chart saying "so sick."
Yeah, exactly. So you can see like he's drawn pictures of the runes that he has surrounding it. Each of these stones has a different rune set into it, and he has the same runes drawn on a piece of paper at the top, and then he circled some of them. So it looks like some of these runes mean some things, some of them mean other things, and at the bottom of the note, there's like a conclusion or a diagnosis from Dr. Brock that says, requires cleansing in the purest untouched water. Glavio may not be ideal.
All right. Sherman, it seems that Brock might have been onto something. He's left notes here saying that it has to be cast into pure water, and that where we are right now might not be ideal for such a thing. But there are runes etched on here, and it seems that these runes might have some sort of association with removing whatever lies within your sword.
Okay. Good. I'm just glad that you think it says the same thing that I think it says.
Uh-huh.
It's always good to have a second set of eyes
No, that's for sure. We're all under a lot of stress
on
right
something. So
now. Yeah?
appreciate you, and
No, I appreciate you, bud.
Sherman's-
Hey, I know you don't like what this sword can do, but I don't think we should leave it behind.
No, I don't think so. Sherman grabs the note and also the sword, and still wrapped in the buckskin.
Yep, it's got like a buckskin wrap around it that you can just tie shut.
So yes, I'm gonna bring that with, and kind of just tether it to my side, like a side sheath.
Okay, so you grab your sword and you guys head kind of northwest to follow the canyon or the cliff walls. And Tumbleweed's kind of ahead of you guys, like gesturing, hurry up! Hurry up!
Hang on, bud. Don't get too far away now. This is what happens. You give them a little bit of heroism and they just go nuts.
Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. That's what they say about something.
So you guys travel along the cave or along the cliff walls until Tumbleweed starts to, get real, he starts squinting his eyes. He's looking around. He doesn't seem like super sure of himself. He had mentioned that he hadn't been to Raven's Outpost more than maybe a handful of times. He's one of the younger Kenku in the flock. But then he points out a cave opening. Raven's Outpost.
Heck yeah, buddy. So, which one of the pictures that you drew of us dying happens first, so that we can be prepared for that?
Pulls out the paper and he starts flipping through
I
them.
didn't know you brought those with you. That's fine.
And he's like flipping through and he holds out.
It's like a little flip book. He's like, oh, he's an animator. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
He pulls out the one where I think it was of Timothy being crushed under a rock or something like that.
Oh shoot. Okay, here, Timothy. I'm gonna hold. How big's this rock in this paper? Is it one big rock?
It looks like a pretty big rock, yeah.
Oh, Shield ain't gonna do anything for that.
Can we do a perception check to see if there's any kind of mechanisms above us that would trigger something?
So yeah, you guys entering the cave can kind of go into perception mode where you're inching
Going
forward.
very slow. I'm putting my nose to the ground.
And Tumbleweed's kind of like right up front with you guys, looking around. You see that he knows there's traps. I mean, just from looking at him, you know that he's aware there are traps, but he also doesn't really seem to remember the exact location of where the triggers are. So what Tumbleweed will be doing is providing the help action to your guys to one of your perception checks. You guys can decide who wants to roll to see if they can
I get
find.
a +3. What does Sherman get?
I get a +3 with advantage for smell. So if it's not a smelly trap, I'm
I will mention though that it is dark, super dark in here.
Who has dark vision?
I have dog vision.
Ah.
So how about I bring out a torch and you use those bird eyes of yours to see.
I don't think Kenkus get dark vision either.
No, Kenkus don't.
They do not. It's very rude.
It's just me.
Yeah, it's
Old
just...
lady vision is the superior.
Well, Sherman, shall you roll one die and I roll the other and we take the better of the two?
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea, Chad. So let's do this. You guys will essentially get. Let's do a triple advantage roll where Tumbleweed and both of you roll a d20, and whoever gets the highest is basically what we're gonna go with for the single perception roll.
Oh, okay.
So you guys are all because you're entering into the slow crawl. We're just looking for traps. We know there's traps in here, so if you do come across one, you're doing your damnedest to make sure you don't trigger it. So
All right, ready for the first one?
yep.
That's an 18 on Sherman.
Oh,
Okay, that's so funny.
damn.
That's another nat 20.
Because the recording cut you out, so it was just
I think Discord definitely sounded
Chat
him.
ascended.
yeah.
I got out of my chair and danced around the room for the nat 20.
Yeah.
You guys all rolled like beasts because Tumbleweed's roll was a 17.
Oh, nice.
So
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Imagine that. None of us want to die.
So Timothy grabs the picture of him getting crushed by a bullet. Like, well, we could just put that one away forever.
you definitely find the rock slide set up above you. Having the torch out certainly helps you illuminate where the latch would drop, and then rocks would just start tumbling down like a small cavity up above you, and you can see that there is a piece of earth of the cave in front of you that does not look completely natural and probably is a pressure plate.
This reminds me of one of my favorite books about the archaeologist artificer Indiana Bones.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
He was a dog folk.
Yeah.
You should.
I saw the cover.
Oh. I'll let you. I might still have a copy. I'll let you borrow it sometime.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Tumbleweed goes, Indiana Bones and the Lost Bark.
Oh, that really sounds like something I'd enjoy.
Oh, you would love it, man. It's good stuff.
All right, so you guys are able to move around this pressure plate without any problem. So then Tumbleweed starts flipping through more of his drawings, and he picks up the one that you guys hadn't seen. He drew this one after the fact.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
And he holds it up to you, and it's a picture of a hole in the ground with flowerkraut at the bottom and a bunch of snakes on top of flowerkraut.
Oh, fuck.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? And I winked at Tumbleweed. No, really. Why did it have to be snakes? That's messed up, man.
Ooh, your arch nemesis.
So the camera zooms
Oh no,
in.
it's a pit of ropes.
Bit of ropes. Yes.
The camera zooms in on the little sketch of flowerkraut, and it transitions our scene back to flowerkraut. You are continuing to walk, and Brandy left just a little bit ago. And all of a sudden, a corporeal form of Aster appears in front of you.
Oh, God.
And you are walking towards her, and then you kind of begin to walk past her, and she just kind of falls in stride next to you. And it's definitely that same kind of see-through version of her that you saw at the Helike, like holding pen. And you're still just face forward, but you can hear her as she goes,
Hello, sister. Dear Flowerkraut. We have been waiting for you. I heard what Laminaria said to you, and it saddens my heart that she was right. You refused to join us. So now, you will not be given a choice. This is what Mother wants. You will make the Coven stronger, as it struggles to hold together with only 4 of us now. We will be that much closer to the 2 dichotomous covens which Mother has the power to combine. A coven of 6. Our power will be unmatched in Archipelia, with or without our borrowed power.
and she gestures to her chest, to her heart, and you can see through the corner of your eye that faint white glow of Miriam. Aster kind of looks over her shoulder as she's walking with you.
I will not leave any loose ends. The bird folk will not be saved by their natural immunity to my control magic. And the same goes for your friends. I will have all 3 motes of Miriam's heart, one way or another. I told you, I will not fail as Laminaria did. I will bring you into the fold. And soon, one of the strongest creatures in Archipelagia will serve our cause.
She points up to the top of the Gallant Peak.
With the help of the lizard folk, I will have access to its heavily protected chambers. And then, it's mine.
She kind of strides ahead of you a few steps, turns, and she's walking backwards, staring straight at you.
Your eyes will be opened, Flowerkraut. Your true destiny awaits. I will see you in my cave.
And she disappears.
Holy fuck, Aaron.
And we cut back to the search for traps. As you guys are making your way through the caves of Raven's Outpost, luckily it is not a winding maze. This seems to be a very straightforward path leading to the area in which the Krekel come and go from Glavio. And you all are searching very, very carefully for snakes. You guys give me your perception rolls, and I will roll for Tumbleweed.
Are you a snake? If there's a snake here, better watch out, snake.
There's a ropes.
I'll bite you. I'll bite a snake.
Oh, Sherman, that's a big rope.
Oh, what?
It's a big rope. Sherman, it's a big rope.
Sherman got an 8, so he's just distracted by threatening snakes that can't speak to him.
You
Wait, I can speak with snakes.
You can.
I rolled a 16.
Who knew that Sherman was a parcel mouth?
Oh, it is.
So you rolled a 16, and that is
In my mind, snakes are ropes and ropes are snakes. So I'm like, why are y'all freaking out? It's just a bunch of ropes. And I just walk through it like it's nothing.
Timothy kind of back flashes to Flowerkraut trying to instill this in him, that ropes do not attack you and they're okay. They are not snakes. And you guys are staring at the ground because the picture that Tumbleweed drew was of a pit. So it's definitely looking for something of a snake pit. And it doesn't seem like there's any fake false ground that you've covered so far. And Tumbleweed's getting a little nervous. And similar to Timothy, somehow this Kenku is sweating. And all of a sudden, you guys feel a brush of something that was protruding from the walls.
Whoa.
And then you hear things start to fire from the walls themselves. Everyone make a dex saving throw.
Oh, and I'm not prepared for this, am I?
You've got to be kidding me.
Holy
You know what? Oh, nice.
Wait, did you get another nat 20?
Another nat 20.
Oh man, it
Yes,
is
he
Timothy's
did.
Net 20 episode.
Oh my
It's
Wow.
a 24.
Okay, so I have previously established, since we're trying to protect ourselves through here, that I probably had torch and shield. Is that safe for me to assess?
Yes, you would have
Okay.
you would have had your weapon put away, you would have had your shield out and torch in your other hand.
Okay, so that means I can add +2 to my dex save,
Yes.
which makes it an 11. Great.
Timothy, you realize that the trap that just was triggered was certainly not a snake pit. You look, Timothy, as you as you're looking at the ground, you brush something that seemed thin, like wire or something that was protruding from the wall.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, bolts fly out from the walls themselves a little bit ahead of you. There's like a turn in the cave, and these bolts come flying, and you duck down immediately. However, one of them hits Sherman,
Those aren't snakes.
and the other one hits Tumbleweed.
Oh no!
Wait, one of them hits Tumbleweed?
One of them hits Tumbleweed.
Can I, with my 24, can I just move him out of the way and take it for him?
Give me a luck roll, D6.
A D6 luck roll?
Yeah, just roll a D6.
Okay. 1? Is that good?
You try You try to get in the way of it from him, but he still gets hit. It grazes him, but we're going to roll some damage right here.
No.
So the bolt flies out.
How dare you? I will never forgive you for this.
Aaron, he better not have commoner stats.
Sherman, you take 6 points of piercing damage,
I can take it.
and you realize that this bolt is poisoned.
That I might have a problem with.
Don't forget about your 2 temporary hit points.
Oh, they're gone now.
I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw against the poison.
Okay, I'm okay with that. There we go. There's the good roll, 22.
Absolutely. Okay, you're only going to take half of the poison damage then. You take 10 points of poison damage.
That's half?
That is half?
That's half.
Aaron!
Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed passes his Constitution saving throw.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to roll the poison damage and take half of it. Okay. Tumbleweed took a total of 12 damage. Tumbleweed falls unconscious.
Tumbleweed! No. I slide out of the way of any bolts that are coming at me, and I grab Tumbleweed, and I just hold him as close as I can.
Yeah, you grab him. There's no more bolts, and then as you look up, you can see that there's these wires that are protruding about a foot out of the wall, so that anyone walking through here, if they rub up against them, they would trigger the trap. But if you walked directly in the center of this hallway, you wouldn't touch any of them. But you guys have been kind of like shoulder to shoulder, looking at the ground, slowly moving forward, looking for a snake trap. And that's when it happened. It basically, Tumbleweed was right in the middle, and you were able to duck under it. So there's no more. You can see what triggers the trap. So you guys are able to like get away from the walls, and you've got the unconscious Tumbleweed in your arms.
Come on, bud. Come on. I can't lose anyone else. I can't. Sherman, I can't lose anyone else. I can't lose him, Sherman!
Timothy, this is gonna... I need you to help me with this, okay? Because this is gonna... Oh, can I... First of all, can I explore the bolt in my chest and see if it's barbed?
It is not barbed.
Okay, good. So I'm going to pull the bolt out of my own chest.
Okay.
I see this, not realizing Sherman's been hit. Sherman!
It's like, here, hold this. Okay. So, wait, you said he was just grazed?
He was grazed.
So it was just, nothing stuck in him. Okay.
Nothing stuck in him. It looked like he got cut by the bolt, but the poison fell into the cut.
Okay, so I tear off a piece of cloth from my undershirt, and I go, Timothy, I need you to hold this against my chest while I take care of Tumbleweed. Can you do that?
Sherman, I can do that, but Sherman, I can heal him too. I can heal both of you. Please, I don't want you to I can't lose you either. I can't lose either of you.
Okay, but here's the problem. I can't lick my own chest. So how about I help Tumbleweed and you help me?
I can do that.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
I've tried. It never works. It's not long enough. So I'm going to practice some lay on tongue for Tumbleweed.
Okay.
And I know I at least have to give him 7, because if he only had 6, then he would be dead.
I mean, he's unconscious. A single point of healing will bring him back. But I will say, in the world of the non-adventurers, mundane commoner stats, the way I play it is that they basically get one chance of falling unconscious and coming back to life.
Okay.
If they go down to 0 hit points again, and this is of course assuming that you guys are immediately healing him. If he's unconscious for too long, they don't stabilize. The commoners don't.
Okay.
So he's essentially making death saves as you guys are going over this, but you're going to bring him back right away.
So I'm going to go then with 5. Sounds about right, even if that's overkill.
Okay. So you lap him for 5 health.
And I will cast Healing Word on Sherman, and the word is stud. But I'm saying it crying. I'm just like, stud.
The power of Triferion compels you. The power of Triferion compels you. Rise, Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed's eyes slowly open, and you hear just...
Oh, God, buddy.
And he reaches behind, and he pulls those papers back out, and he's flipping through them, and you see that he can't find a picture of a poison dart or bolt flying through the hallway, and he goes, "Oopsie."
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, just a little oopsie. Yep. What was the healing word I healed for?
I gave you 4. I'm sorry, it wasn't for much.
Oh, that's okay. That's wow. I got fucked up. I'm okay though. I'm okay.
Yeah, you took the full brunt of the bolt. The bolt only did 1 point of damage to Tumbleweed because it grazed him, but then the poison was on there, so that's what did most of his damage. And he slowly gets up and just like hugs both of you, and he goes, "Tumbleweed, I'm sorry."
You've got nothing to be sorry about, Tumbleweed. We will be more cautious. We'll be more careful.
Sherman feels the cloth like push out of his wound a little bit further after the heal. He's like, "Oh, that feels real weird."
Sherman, do you need me to cast another healing word on you? Are you going to be okay?
Hold it. I think that stopped the bleeding. That's probably the most important part.
He continues on, gets up and he gets the picture back out, and he smacks the picture of the snake pit, and he's like, he looks at you and he's nodding like, "Okay, now the snake pit."
Oh, okay.
Tumbleweed, please, how about you stay in the back, bud, and we'll make sure the coast is clear.
I think that's probably for the best at this point, because
Sherman, can you like wedge him between yourself and your shield, man? I don't know. I don't think I could go through that again. I think the heroism is it's gone. It is molted off my body, and now I'm starting to freak out.
And by the way, the 2 temporary hit points that he had saved his life, by the way.
Oh my God.
Oh, good.
Tumbleweed walks up to you as you're kind of like beside yourself a little bit, and he grabs you, Timothy, and he pulls you down to his level, and he looks at you and he shakes his head no, and he pounds a fist on his chest and he goes, "Hero."
Yeah, bud. I do the same. Hero.
And he then walks in line with you guys, not behind, down further, and I need you guys to give me another 3 set of perception to see the snake pits.
Oh, so what you're saying is, like, if we get him through this, he's level 1, right? And he chooses which path he wants to take. Probably rogue, knowing that's, I don't know, is that typecasting?
After meeting Timothy, you might go bard.
Aw.
Oh, finally, someone gets a 20 that isn't Timothy Biscuit.
Did you get a 20?
I did.
Virtual high five.
Yeah.
23.
Thank goodness you rolled well. That was an 8.
Yes, thank goodness, because Tumbleweed rolled like shit.
It's like, no, I'm taking point on this one. So y'all just kind of be at the flank. If there are snakes, I can tell them to just chill.
Timothy finds his copy of Indiana Bones, the Dogfolk Artificer Archaeologist, and he was like, "Man, whoever designed these traps was like a real fan. I'm seeing a lot of parallels."
So a little flavor text on Sherman rolling that high. You are moving through looking for that maybe a false ground or like something that doesn't look right in the floor, and you actually smell snakes before you get to it.
Oh yeah, I do.
Ooh.
You get to where definitely this part of the ground would break if you were to step on it, and you don't know how far down it goes because you can't really see in this pit that's covered up.
I think the smartest thing to do here would be to break the ground and see how much ground would break. So I'm gonna go ahead and like not tap, but like hit the ground with the warhammer and see how much of the ground falls away.
Okay. You put the torch on the ground, you grab the hammer out, you smack it, and the whole thing kind of just collapses under itself. It looks like even a little bit, no more than 20 pounds would set this thing off. And you see it collapse and fall into the pit. The second it hits the ground, you hear all over, crawling out of like holes in the walls and stuff like that.
How deep is the hole?
You grab the torch and hold it over. It's probably about 20 feet down.
Oh yeah, we don't want to go down there.
So it looks like this was designed to cripple whoever fell into it, so they had no chance of escaping the snakes.
So here's taking a look around. On the sides, is there any safe place to step?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a very, very narrow edge on both sides, but also this pit looks like it's easily jumpable.
Okay. Hold on. I've got some. I'm gonna call down to the snakes, and be like, "Hey, snakes!
What do you want?
So we're just gonna go on by. I don't know.
Wait! Don't leave. We're hungry.
That's what. I have a little bit of. I guess this is some. I mean, it's not warm.
That's okay. That's okay.
I've got a little bit of like dried meats and
Yes.
maybe some nuts.
Yes.
Do you guys like nuts?
No, we don't like nuts.
All right, I'll keep the nuts. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss down. How about do any of you eat fruit?
In a pinch, we'll eat fruit.
Okay. Well, I'll give you the fruit and. I don't know what this is. It's like a dog chew. I don't know what it's made of. They call it hardtack.
Timothy and Tumbleweed are just watching this one-sided conversation in the background. Like, no, he does this sort of thing. It's normal. It's fine.
You're throwing some like a hard tack down.
I gave away, except for the nuts, I gave away some rations.
Thank
And I was
you.
like,
Thanks
so
much.
Just remember, if any of us just happens to fall down, we're good, right?
Tasties, yes, your
Okay.
tasties.
Okay, cool. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And if you hear a woman in your brain, just tell her to eat rocks.
Okay, thanks again.
All right. Oh, they're cool, guys. I don't know if you want to walk around the sides, but I think I'm good to just jump across, and I jump across.
You jump across. It's easy to jump across. Timothy, you're getting ready to get across with Tumbleweed, and as you're just about to do that, you hear in the back of your mind,
I know that brain voice anywhere. And I turn around.
and Brandy's just kind of staring up at you, having sauntered into the cave, walking past everything.
Brandy, what are you... I get down to Brandy's level. What are you doing here? Where's Flowerkraut?
Flowerkraut's brain. It's not her brain.
Oh no. I look over back to Sherman after he jumped over. Sherman?
Yeah, bud.
She's been taken over too. She's a zombified being, just like the rest of these island's inhabitants.
That's bad for us.
That's real bad for us, man. I get back over to Brandy. Where is Flowerkraut now?
Flowerkraut's walking to the mountain.
She's walking to the mountain?
Brandy's come for help.
Does Brandy's brain voice just go to Timothy?
You guys are all hearing it.
Okay. Brandy, we're gonna see if the Crickles are gonna be able to help us, because I don't know if... I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Timothy and I have the power to take down Flowerkraut alone. Not take down, but like... I don't know, give her a concussion or something.
Oh, no. Flowerkraut will kill you.
I know.
Yeah, we know, bud. Like that's why we're worried.
Brandy's gonna come with dark brain and bird brain.
Are you good at jumping?
Brandy just easily walks along the narrow edge.
Oh, okay, that works. Don't mind the snakes. They're cool. Don't eat the snakes either, because they're cool.
Snake brains?
No, there's not much in there. You don't want that.
One of them goes,
Hey, that's not very nice. You're still speaking our language.
Shut up, I'm trying to keep you alive.
Eat shits.
They eat shit
Ah,
snakes.
the last people I talked to told me to eat shit.
And I did it that one time, okay? Why won't anybody just leave it alone?
All right, so Timothy, you have no trouble with Tumbleweed just like getting over this pit. It's really
Popping
not
across.
Yeah, you just pop over it. And you guys continue forward towards Raven's Outpost. So you make your way out of the winding cave network. Not much of a network, though. It was pretty much a straight path. And you hear Krekel voices up ahead. And the path opens up into a large cavern, very open, with a very big opening on the far end. It's this big cavern, but the far end of it is just an open cave to the outside.
Can I make a brain picture suggestion? In Moana, when she finds the port and she's like, "We were voyagers." I may have seen Moana like 30 times.
So you guys see that there's this huge rock at the far end that's jutting out from the cave opening that creates kind of a natural terrace, like a cave balcony that's overlooking the sea, but it's under the sky on the far end, and that there is a stone funeral pyre on that rock under the open sky, and upon it lays the Krekel guard that lost his life to the falling salt pillar the day before today. There is wood stacked around him, but it hasn't been lit, as you see that the Krekel are discussing among one another. Some of them are walking up to the funeral pyre, and it looks like they're saying their goodbyes. They definitely notice now the four of you walking into this big room, and the conversation begins to slowly die down, and you hear a couple of them be like, "Tumbleweed, tumbleweed, tumbleweed." They're all using he-like voices. So they kind of look at you inquisitively. What are you doing here? Like, why has Tumbleweed brought these adventurers to Raven's Outpost, which is definitely a Kenku-only place?
Timothy, do you want to take this, or should I? I don't know where you stand on Echo.
At this point, there are far more important things to worry about.
Tumbleweed gets in front of you and goes, "Echo." And he points at the rest of the Krekel.
Okay, you can do this. Krekel of Glavio, please. I know this is a time of mourning, but I need you to hear me out.
You hear some of them just like acknowledging you.
There is a catastrophe happening to this island, to your home. It's not just with the Helax. Almost everyone has been taken over by some kind of force.
Echo.
Listen, I know the words that I'm speaking seem strange to you. I understand. And I know that sometimes those who are not Kenku are difficult to trust. But you have lived in harmony with the Helax for so long. And despite your differences, you've learned to embrace one another. You've learned to embrace those differences. And now those Helax and my friends have been taken over. They're being controlled. Their actions are not their own. And I know it's our instinct to flee, to run, to hide. But we have to stand up. I am asking you, please, help us. Fight for this place you call home. Fight for your flock. For this island and all of its inhabitants are now your flock.
The soothsayer Krekel walks up to you and she eyes you. Echo. Helax. Attack! Krekel! Krekel! Not safe anymore.
Please understand that if what we believe is happening on this island is indeed happening, there won't be a safe place to go. We have to stand, and we have to push back, and we have to save this place.
Echo. Tumbleweed pipes up and goes, "Glavio, I love you. You see the soothsayer turn to some of the other Krekel and begin thieves canting. And you see some of them squawking back and forth, and they're kind of doing their little inter-Krekel conversation that you've seen Tumbleweed do. They turn back to you, Krekel. Echo. Strange. But what's in it for me?
What's it? Is this not your home? Is this not a place worth fighting for? Is the harmony between you and the Helax not worth fighting for?
They look to the ground for a second as they're thinking about it. And you can tell that a lot of them are having a hard time building up the courage. And you know as a Kenku yourself that the default is to just run. But you see them some of them are looking over at you, and Tumbleweed puts his hand up to you, Timothy, and he goes, "Hero." And then he walks over to the soothsayer and he goes, "Hero." And he starts moving among the crowd. "Hero." "Glavio, I love you."
As he starts doing that, I start to kind of follow Tumbleweed, and I say,
I know our time here has been short, but believe me when I say the thing that you have here is so incredibly special. A place to call your home. That's something I've never truly known. But Tumbleweed here, he understands the value of that. He loves this place. He loves the Krekel. He loves the Helax as if they were one. And that is something we have to fight for. Your home is worth fighting for. This flock is worth fighting for.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage. And this is Tumbleweed doing his damnedest to provide a help action to you.
So that's a 16 total.
So a couple of them look down at Tumbleweed, look over at you as you are kind of walking around, talking to each of them more on a personal level. And they kind of put a hand on their own chest and they go, "Hero, hero,
Hero.
hero." And then you see some of them are a little less convinced. They're just like looking out to the sea, looking out the cave exit and looking at the funeral pyre and just like shaking their head. But you see that more and more as they're saying this, some of them are starting to feel like, maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't where we run again. And suddenly the ground begins to shake. And you quickly realize it's not just the ground, it's the walls too.
Sherman?
And small rocks and dust begins to fall from the cavern ceiling. And a noise is heard as the conversation immediately dies as everyone's looking around and the sound gets louder and louder. And then the north cavern wall erupts and stones jettison out in all directions, striking a couple of the Krekel and knocking them down. And out from this newly shaped tunnel emerges what you can only describe as the creature known as the Grubgantuan. This creature is a grub only in name and the general shape, but you can see that the creature's once soft skin has evolved into a very hard carapace with a large maw for a mouth, and it immediately jumps into the cavern to attack. It's time to break battle and roll initiative. Janelle,
Yeah.
you get to control Brandy.
Yay! I get to be Brandy.
Yeah! Let's go!
Yes, yes,
yeah.
you do. That's amazing.
Are you ready, bird brain, dog brain?
The bottom of the initiative, ladies and gentlemen, Sherman Jeopard rolling a 1.
I'm not going to be much better. That was a 6.
Brandy rolled 19.
Holy crap.
we just chuck Brandy at it.
World comes in and Brandy's like, big brain.
Brandy, I choose you.
Giant brains.
I hope Brandy can digivolve and just chucks it at the Thresher Maw.
All right, so I'm going to have a general encounter event that all of the other Kenku are doing at the end of each round. Okay, so I'm not going to roll a separate initiative for them. So we're going to stick to basically this Grubgantuan and the three of you, Sherman, Timothy, and Brandy. Tumbleweed at this point is going to basically be running around to clear people away from this thing and help where he can, because he's definitely not a fighter. All right, Brandy, you're up first.
Yay.
Brandy has a few different moves that she can do. She can do Tentacles, which is a melee attack. Doesn't really hit very hard. She can do Nibble Brain, which is only good on small creatures that are grappled by me, so that one's out. And if you listen to our holiday episode, we've got the Neuron Nip, which is me emitting psychic energy in a 15-foot cone, and the creature must succeed on a DC 13 intelligence saving throw.
You know what? I think that's the winner.
Yeah. All right. Brandy's going to go hard with a Neuron Nip. How close is she to the Thresher Maw / Grubgantuan?
So to paint the battlefield, this cavern is probably 40 feet wide and about 20 feet high. The Grubgantuan just burst out of the northern wall. So if you guys had just walked into this cavern, that would be the wall to your right. Straight ahead of you, about another 40 feet, is the opening to the sea, to like the outer edge of Glavio. And so you guys were kind of like, Brandy and Sherman are still standing relatively near the entrance where you guys had just walked in. Timothy and Tumbleweed have walked kind of around where the Krekel are all standing. So the two of you are like in the middle of it, but I would say that Brandy is maybe 20 feet from the Grubgantuan.
All right. So she's going to move 5 feet towards the Grubgantuan.
Okay.
So that she can be in that 15-foot range.
Okay.
And she is going to try to Neuron Nip this thing.
All right. That's perfect because no one else has run into... Like, everyone had kind of get blasted away from this thing. So there's no one else in this cone, because the thing is, Brandy cannot pick and choose who it hits. It's just whoever's in this cone of energy. So it has to beat a DC 13 intelligence saving throw.
It does.
And as I always do whenever we play, whenever you hit something or you attack something with a saving throw type of thing, I will tell you if it's got a good save or a bad save, so that you kind of can meta this in, like you don't have to, the idea is that, hey, I found a weakness, but I had to use something against that defense to figure that out. So I'm going to tell you right now, this thing has a shit intelligence.
That's what I was hoping for.
Oh, good. So it's no brain bug.
And it rolled a 6 after its negative modifier.
Wow.
So roll those 4d4s of psychic damage.
Alrighty.
Wow.
9 points of psychic damage. And it is going to be stunned for 1 minute on a failed save.
Okay, it failed its save. It is stunned. It does get a saving throw at the end of each of its turn to try to break out of it. So we will find out what happens.
Yes.
Brandy runs out, and Janelle, please tell us, what does the Neuron Nip look like or sound like?
All right. So if you've forgotten from the holiday episode, what Brandy does is she splays her tentacles, her mouth tentacles out, and then whaps them together, and it makes this whip sound. And it's kind of like a purple energy beam, and you'll see the creature kind of look like it just got hit in the back of the head.
Oh, I love it. It's like seeing stars. It's like it's shaking its head around, not really doing anything besides trying to like get some kind of intruder out of its head, as it's making these squelching noises as well.
I think this is Brandy's first actual attack in the canon campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What an attack.
That's a big first attack.
That's a big first move. Whew.
Timothy, you are actually up next.
Whoa, okay. Timothy pulls out his lute and he's freaking out at this point. Miriam, if the light that's inside of us means anything, then please let it mean something now. And I'm gonna try and position myself in a way that I could affect Brandy and Sherman and myself with a Faechild song.
Okay. You play the Faechild. Vines break through just as the Grubgantuan did into this cavern and begin circling around you guys. Fey wild flowers start popping up and blooming around the vines themselves. And the three of you now have bardic inspiration.
Thank you, Bird Brain.
Yeah.
And I look back and I say, Sherman, I know you, out of all of us, you're the one that puts on the brave face, but do you need to be healed?
At times like this, I definitely wouldn't say no.
You're my Indiana bones, Sherman.
Aw.
And I cast Healing Word at him.
Okay,
That's another 4 back to you.
thanks. I feel invigorated.
It is the Grubgantuan's turn. It is stunned. It is shaking its head around and like causing some of the cavern to like shake a little bit more with it. More dust is falling from the ceiling. At the end of its turn, it is going to try and roll another intelligence saving throw to see if it can break out of this. What is it? A 13?
Yeah. Yep. The DC 13 intelligence.
It rolled a 2 after its modifier.
Oh no! I mean, yes, but now I'm starting to feel bad for it. Like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm here to wreck your show.
I'm gonna eat brains for days.
Oh yeah, this thing's got a big brain.
With nothing in it, apparently.
With nothing in it. It's a big hollow
It's
brain.
just 2 brain cells playing ping pong.
No, it's like just giant junk food. She's just gonna eat a giant cinnamon roll of a brain, and it's like got no nutritional value whatsoever.
Yeah, it's only got a big brain just because of its size. Besides that, it does nothing for it. It is Sherman's turn.
Sherman takes his stone hammer and he's like, all right, well, there's only one way to crack this egg, and charges and delivers a diving strike towards the carapace of the beast.
You fly in and slam this thing.
And I break the warhammer because I rolled a 1. I'm assuming that's what you meant by catastrophic failure.
No!
Oh no! Thank God you grabbed the sword.
Yeah, a 1's a 1's a 1's a 1.
Sherman, you need to roll a luck die with me.
Okay. That is a 5.
You don't completely shatter this hammer, but it breaks, and a big chunk of the stone hammer goes flying off. Your hammer damage is now a d6.
Okay.
Timothy questions the stability of his jacket.
Don't worry about it, stud. It's stone. What are you gonna do?
Brock, are you here right now?
he's over there dressed up as a kangaroo.
Echo.
I mean, squawkity squawk. Yeah, squawk. Yeah, big echo over here. Yeah.
Oh, Brock's a coward.
It's got that big echo energy, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's broken. That's not good.
Well, shit. Sherman looks at the hammer. He's like, oh. Looks at the big bug.
Holy shit! You would have gotten advantage on your attack, Sherman.
Oh, really?
It's stunned.
Ah, shit.
Okay, Sherman, you would get the second attack or the advantage roll. So you roll that.
All right, so the other one would be a 12.
Okay, that's still going to be a miss, but it is not a critical failure.
So the hammer's still intact.
Yes.
Yay, it's not broken.
Yeah, so
Okay. Intact hammer.
It looks like it cracks, but somehow like another stone, like an even tougher stone's underneath with like a winky Brock face.
Intact from the
Stud.
impact.
And it just says, "I got you, stud." So yeah, your hammer still does a D8 damage. We'll retcon that one.
Retcon.
All right, it's the bottom of the round. The Kenku are kind of like spreading out, and Tumbleweed runs over and like helps pull a rock off of one of the Kenku that got knocked over with the explosion. And you see that some of them are kind of like backing up towards the cave entrance. And some of them are even like grabbing these rope ladders and throwing them down the cliff. And Tumbleweed goes, "Hero! Hero!" You know, like, don't leave. Like, we're fighting for this island. And some of them like stop with their tracks, turn around, and a couple of them pull out their weapons, try to help fight this thing. But they are very hesitantly approaching this thing. It doesn't seem like they've really built up the courage quite yet to fight. Although
Guys, all their weapons were made by Brock, and they just saw what happened.
I mean, if they saw a cat attack this thing and it succeeded,
yeah.
that should bolster their confidence.
So there are those that have like stopped to turn around, do see that you guys are fighting this thing and that it has been stopped in its tracks, and that you guys are not afraid to put your lives at risk. So Tumbleweed is running around trying to bolster them, trying to get them to face against this thing, and you can see that some of them are grabbing their weapons out of their packs. They definitely were not here ready to fight anything, and that is the Kenku end of the round turn. It is back at the top of the round with Brandy. Janelle, I need you to roll a d6 for the see if the neuron nip can recharge or not.
Okay. Got a 4.
It is not recharged.
Damn.
It is still active though. It's still stunned. So what's Brandy gonna do this turn?
Let's see. I think Brandy is going to climb onto the back of this creature. Maybe even climb onto the head.
Okay.
She's got 30 feet of climbing ability.
Oh yeah. You don't even have to roll. You just climb. She just like a cat climbs right up onto it.
Come here, big juicy bug thing.
So are you doing the tentacle attack?
Yep, I'm gonna do a tentacle.
Janelle, go ahead and give me that Brandy attack with advantage.
Okay, I rolled an 18, and then I add +4 to hit, so 22.
Damn.
So it hits.
Roll again just to see if you crit or not.
Ooh, okay. That was a 9.
Okay, we'll go with the 22. Now go ahead and roll a d4 plus 2.
Okay.
And this is also psychic damage.
Okay, I got a 4, so I got the full 6.
Ooh. You can add the bardic inspiration as damage.
Okay, what do I roll for that? A d6?
It's a d6.
Great. I fucking got a 6.
Brain damage.
12 points of damage.
Brandy's taking control of this whole situation.
You're mine, bitch.
Whispering into its ear.
Little ear hole. This is crazy. The cat is doing all this damage.
Yeah, all right. So we're down to Timothy's turn.
All right. I think I'm going to use face step and also get onto this thing and go at it with 2 dagger attacks.
Okay.
So I poof.
Poof, you're now on top of its back. Go ahead and roll your first attack.
First attack is a 16 plus 4. So the first attack is a dirty 20.
That will hit.
And then the second attack is a 13 plus 4. So that's 17.
That also hits.
Okay.
So the first one, you'll get your bonus with the weapon. The second one will just be the die.
Okay. So the first one is going to be 6.
Oh, damn. You got max on the die.
Got max on that one. And then the next one, I will just roll a regular. And that's a 1, but I'm going to add my bardic inspiration as a d6 on top of that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's mess this thing up.
That's a full 6.
Yeah, there we go.
So a 7.
Yep. So I just go poof, and then I poof slightly above it and just chuck 2 of my feather daggers into its carapace.
All right, so Timothy, you very quickly, through the action that you just took, find out that this thing is resistant to piercing damage, which is what your daggers do. So the first attack did 3 to it, And the second attack also did 3 to it. So it took half damage from both of your daggers.
As I land, I'm like, okay, well, just pick these up then.
Yep. So you grab your daggers real quick.
Sherman, you're gonna have to hit this thing really hard.
Well, that doesn't bode well.
Brandy, you're doing great.
Hit its brain.
The grub's turn, it's still stunned. And at the end of its turn, it's gonna see if it breaks out of this neuron nip. God damn it!
Oh, jeez.
It gets a -4 to its intelligence saving
How
throws.
dumb is this thing?
It has an intelligence of 2.
Timothy, I don't think you can use vicious mockery. I think there has to be a basic intelligence of 3 for something to be affected by vicious mockery.
I was thinking we could just bane this thing and it's never getting out of here.
No.
just
Aaron,
no.
did you just shout no, as in like you're not gonna? No, don't do this to me.
No, don't. Please, this is all I have.
My boss worm.
All right, Sherman, it's your turn. Grub's still stunned. And Brandy has mounted it and showing domination over this creature.
Thing bursts through the wall. Gets one. First thing that happens, dong. And then it's like, dong.
All right, Sherman,
All
you
right.
still have your fully, maybe slightly cracked hammer, but not a broken hammer.
Maybe bludgeoning damage will work. So let's go ahead and try this again here. So that is sitting at a 15.
Okay,
Okay.
roll advantage.
And rolling with it. Yeah, we just talked about this, Dustin. All right, so 15.
15 is not enough. You slam your hammer into it, and it's just like hitting a big.
All right, so I'm gonna hit my bard die to see if I can send it over the edge.
Sounds good.
So that's just a 1, so 16.
16 is still not enough.
Dang it.
17 is the magic number, everybody. We solved the puzzle. This hammer, I'm getting a refund.
It's like you're hitting another rock with the rock hammer, so it's very tough.
Sherman just takes a swing and he hits it and he goes.
The cartoon like Tom and Jerry thing where he's just moving across the room with a vibrating hammer in his hand. Blah, blah, blah. All right. It is the end of the turn. The Kenku grab their weapons. You see some of them pulling bows out, and they are going to make a few attacks at the grub. So here we go. Let's just throw some. God. One of the arrows hits, and because it's piercing damage, we know it does half damage. It only did 2 damage. So you got one Kenku did a little bit of a scratch to this thing. Tumbleweed runs over, and he's working on convincing the rest of them to not just bail from the cavern and he's, communicating that, hey, look at the fucking cat over there that's kicking this thing's ass.
Tumbleweed language.
It is Brandy's turn. Give me a d6 to see if Neuron Nip recharges.
That's a 3.
Not recharged yet. What is Brandy doing?
All right, she's gonna do tentacle attack again.
Okay.
Damn, that was a 3. Plus 4 is 7, so definitely not enough.
It shakes a little bit, and Brandy's having a hard time keeping all the tentacles attached to its head. It is Timothy's turn.
Because of the scale of this creature, does it look like I'd be able to cast Shatter at just the creature?
You could probably shatter the ground underneath it if you want to avoid hitting. Yeah, because it is a huge creature. It's big.
Yeah.
You could probably shatter underneath it.
That's the biggest attack that I can really do against this thing.
Okay.
I'm going to be like, Brandy, do you have ears? It doesn't matter. Whatever you got, make sure they're plugged.
Okay, boy.
And I go for another power chord and cast Shatter underneath this creature.
All right. It has to make a Constitution saving throw against, what's your spell DC?
12.
All right. Because you're casting something against its defense, you'll realize it has a very good con save. It rolls a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Good. After its modifier. So it will take half damage, though.
Okay. That's 16. So half is 8.
You just hit it with thunder damage, and you just realized it's vulnerable to thunder damage, so it went back up to a 16.
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
So you watch as you shatter, and you see cracks begin to form in its carapace from the shatter.
You're not the only thing that can make this cavern rock.
It is the grub's turn.
Quickly, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast regular Bardic Inspiration on Brandy.
Okay,
Thanks.
let's see if this thing can be smart enough not to be stunned anymore.
Oh boy.
Fuck me. It rolled a 4. It's still stunned. It's writhing in the hole that it just
Jeez.
burrowed in from.
Grub brain stupid.
Sherman, it is your turn.
Sherman sees the result of the shatter spell, and he looks at the stone hammer, clangs it against his shield 3 times, and casts Thunderous Smite.
Nice.
Damn, dude.
This is going to be a show first, so Thunderous Smite is a bonus action. Takes concentration for up to 1 minute. So the first time I hit with a melee weapon attack during the spell, the weapon rings thunder that's audible within 300 feet and deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage to the target. Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away and knocked prone. I don't think that's going to work on a huge creature, but...
It's kind of halfway into the cavern, so, like, it's probably just going to get thrown to the side a little bit, but not really go away from you. Yeah.
Here we go to try this again. I'm so glad it's still stunned so I can roll with advantage.
Yep.
So here we go, Hammer. Let's try this one more time. We know a 16 doesn't hit, but a 22 definitely does.
2022 absolutely hits.
Yeah, Sherman.
I have a DM question.
Yep.
Since a Divine Smite is an ability, can you stack a Divine Smite on top?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, you can.
You say with a beleaguered sigh.
Yeah, with sated breath.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will say, I will give you this. With this much energy going through this hammer, if you want it to completely shatter, I am okay with that. Because that would
Just
make
like
sense.
Mjolnir style, just shatter in like a thunderous wave. That's kind of epic.
Yeah, Divine Smite is not an action at all, and so you're basically piling all of these things into a single hit.
Okay, so here's what I am going to do.
So let's roll your weapon damage first.
Weapon damage first. D8 plus 6 bludgeoning, so 11.
All right, you hit it with your hammer. You realize it is not resistant to bludgeoning damage, nor is it vulnerable. So you do 11 damage with your hammer.
And then the thunder damage, 2d6, is 10.
That's going to be 20 thunder damage.
And then the Divine Smite. Oh, 2d8.
2d8 radiant damage, yep.
Okay, it's 2d8. And that is 9 radiant damage.
Oh boy. So, Sherman, you charge up your beautifully crafted stone hammer from Brock. And it's got lightning and, just energy coming off of it, and then it begins to glow with the light of Tritherion, and you come down on this thing, and the sound echoing off of the cavern walls is like deafening to everyone. The Krekel are like ducking down and covering their ears. Brandy gets flung off of the thing as you contact it, and all of this light is building up, and your hammer is just beginning to crack through the entire carapace as this thing is definitely not going to survive. And that scene is cut as we go back to the Gallant Peak. And we see Flowerkraut walking up and has been walking for a good while now. And down below in the very foothills of the Gallant Peak are the Helix, followed by the Apostle Ship, well behind Flowerkraut, but Flowerkraut is definitely the first one to have reached this point, and there is a cave before her as she steps inside. And you see Aster, actual Aster, the red-horned hag, sitting there, her legs crossed, and has her eyes closed, and she's concentrating, and she gets this face of frustration and anger, and then she opens her eyes to look at you, Flowerkraut. She stands up, and you see that during this whole time she's been holding her chest, and this white Miriam's power has been just radiating as she's been fueling all of her control magic through it. She stands up, she opens her eyes, she looks at you, and you can see in this cave, as you kind of are noticing out of the corners of your eyes, that it's kind of like her temporary base of operation here on Glavio. And behind her is a tunnel that has been dug recently. There's still rubble and everything on the ground. And you see a couple dead Helix laying on the ground inside the tunnel that look like they had dug until their bodies gave up on them. And she walks over to you, and in the frustration of her face, she goes,
It is time, Flowerkraut. Our sisters wait for us in the alcove of 6.
and she opens up a rift to the Feywild, again, without the need of a Feyline, purely fueled by Miriam's heart, a plane shift. And she gives you the come hither finger as she has you walk into the portal, and then she follows right after. And you emerge into the alcove of 6, the same small island within the Feywild, housing the 6 enormous trees arranged in a hexagonal fashion. And you see at the base of 3 trees, being at 3 points of the hexagon, are the other 3 hags, each of them sitting with their eyes closed, focusing their share of Miriam's heart into Aster's heart. And in the center of the platform is that wicker dome that you know contains Baba Yaga. Aster then takes you over to her tree, which is the leafless black ash. You hear the other hags speaking in your mind.
Welcome, sister.
As they're overlapping each other, but you can telepathically hear them. Aster motions you to her tree, and then you watch as the roots of the black ash spread out from the ground and they wrap around your feet. Then they climb up your body, holding you in place, even though you have no agency right now to move your body. You watch as the roots take hold of you, and you are standing there completely encased in them. Just basically your neck up, exposed. And then she walks over to you. Aster reaches her hand forward and she caresses your face.
My dear sister, can you feel Mother's love?
And with a wave of her hand, you feel the mind control end on you. And though your body is tightly held in place by the roots, you are you again.
What have you done?
Only what Mother demands of us. You are here to take the place of them, those that would refuse our Mother.
And she gestures at the wicker dome.
Baba Yaga!
You turn your head as much as you can to look over in Baba Yaga's direction, and you just see the old frail hand kind of like come and grip hold of the wicker on the edge of the dome, but you can't really see her face in the shadows, and she doesn't say anything.
Don't struggle, Flowerkraut. You must let her in.
You gotta know that I'd never help you. What use am I to you here?
You will complete this. Though that does seem a little more difficult now that Laminaria's gone. But
She looks at the wicker dome.
she will succumb soon enough. And once again, there will be 6 of us. Archipeldia will be ours. And we will open the gates for Mother. You will have anything you want, Flowerkraut. You want to go back and live your solitary life on a beach island? It's yours. You just have to do this thing.
I've got something more important to fight for than an island. Thanks to you.
You will learn, Flowerkraut, that it doesn't matter. None of that matters in comparison. You have a choice right now to live your life the way you want to, or to be destroyed by standing in the way.
And she begins to pull out Miriam's heart from herself. And she starts to hold it a little bit closer to you. And you feel energy getting just absolutely pulsating out of your chest. And you look to see that the mote of Miriam is beginning to be drawn from you. That it wants to be rejoined with the rest of it. And then you hear Baba Yaga begin to laugh in the background.
She's right, you know. You fools. You didn't have the strength to convince me. What makes you think you had any chance of forcing her to join you?
And Flowerkraut, you catch a scent. A scent crosses your nose stronger than it has ever come. And you know with absolute certainty that it is wafting from Baba Yaga. It's so familiar. It's been with you for so long. It is the smell of Baba Yaga's physical presence, something that you could not smell when you last spoke with her because you weren't here. It's her confidence in you. It's that connection that you share with her that you know no magic can break. Except this time, it's a little bit different because you don't only smell her. You don't smell just your connection to Baba Yaga. You smell the molting feathers from Timothy Biscuit. You smell the shaggy fur on Sherman Jeopard. And one of the strongest scents that you catch is that of brandy, the sour musk of the briny deep sea. And you see in your mind's eye Brandy. And she calls out to you. As if you could reach out and touch her.
Brandy.
Baba Yaga continues to laugh.
You bitches know nothing of true bonds.
And Flowerkraut, you connect your mind with Brandy. And immediately the mote that was floating out of you retracts back into your chest as you feel the threads binding you to your familiar reinforced with new energy. And suddenly you whisk away. And as you are fading from the Feywild, you hear Aster scream, "No! No!" You disappear, and you're flying through the ether until you pop into existence on the floor of a large cavern with chunks of a creature spread all over the walls. Sherman Jeopard standing high above you with a glowing hammer, Timothy Biscuit with his lute out, and a little Cthulhu looking up at you, sitting on your lap. And that is where we will end our episode.
Winds with you, BB Army, broken winds notwithstanding. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Break, Battle, and Roll. We hope you're enjoying our adventure as much as we are in creating it. If you're looking for more ways to connect with Break, Battle, and Roll, follow our Instagram and Twitter, both at Break, Battle, Roll, or stop by and give us a like on the Break, Battle, and Roll Facebook page. Or if following the individual nerds is more your thing, you can follow Chad Stafford on his Instagram and Twitter at It's Chit Chad, as well as his YouTube channels, Chit Chad and Chit Chad Plays. You can follow me, Janelle Wilkie, on my Instagram at janelle.wilkie, or you can join Dustin Bleschmidt as he streams on twitch.tv/thefinaldestination. And follow his Instagram and TikTok, both at _final_destination. And his Twitter at FINL Destination. You can also find our beloved barkeep and dungeon daddy, Aaron Rollins, on Twitter at Arkuma, that's AARKUMA. We must also sing the praises of our amazing musicians, Ben Holland and Rory O'Neill, who provided our theme song and many of the original musical scores in the podcast. Ben can be found on SoundCloud, and you can follow Rory on Twitter at Trench Warfare. Now that you're part of the BB Army, we'd love your help in spreading the word throughout the realm. Sharing our podcast with friends and writing reviews helps a young podcast like ours so much. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go pester the barkeep for another drink. Until next time.